Hello, recreation community. Congrats on making it to the weekend. Woohoo! Hey, my name is Caitlin and I work with Denver Parks and Rec. I'm part of outdoor recreation, and today is going to be a little different from our normal kind of outdoor skill session. So today I want to talk about camping, but right now a lot of us can't really get out because of our stay-at-home order that we're all following. Good job on doing that. So I was trying to think of how we can bring our outdoors indoors, or potentially you having the outdoors maybe in your backyard. So today I would like to go over camping basics for the home, whether you are using an indoor space or maybe your backyard. I don't have the luxury of having a really nice backyard, so I kind of set up camp in my basement. So some ideas for you as you are trying to find activities for either your kiddos at home or just to try to switch things up for yourself. We can do some shelter building at home. So my first one that I want to show you here, you can probably tell I am sitting in a tent. I set this tent up and have everything that you would need to sleep comfortably. There's a sleeping bag, there's a sleeping pad in here, and I have a headlamp as well for when it gets darker. So if you have some spare room, whether it's your living room even, if you can push kind of some furniture aside, that can be kind of a fun space to reimagine for our time while we're spending so much time at home. So if you don't have a tent, you have a whole lot of other options as well. Or if your tent doesn't fit in your living room, or if you don't have a backyard where it fits, we can do some other fun creative things. So follow me here. I'm gonna try not to move the camera too much. Don't want you all to get sick and dizzy. But another option that we have here is kind of a fort building session. So you can see behind me here, I have a bunch of blankets thrown up. I have a nice little cozy spot here with pillows, with blankets, and this is a really, really fun thing that you can do just to kind of kill some time and, again, just reimagine your space. So first things first, some materials you're going to want. You want to have as many comfortable blankets or sheets as you can have, and then also maybe throw in some pillows there. Something else that can kind of make it feel a little more homey and kind of like you're camping are some candles. I will warn against having any open flame near anything that can catch fire, and if you do have candles out, you definitely want to have some kind of water source just in case. So as you're camping, you're still wanting to have some good common sense and be safe about that. So if you have some kids, fort building can be so fun. You can pull in those chairs, get them to really own what they're making. I have a couple nephews who absolutely love camping, and right now their alternative is to build forts, and they have been going crazy with that. They absolutely love it. It's something fun that they can be physically involved in and just have their creative ideas build something. So I definitely recommend that. Also, when you're thinking about camping and just kind of having a relaxing weekend, one thing that I think of are all the good snacks or all the good foods that I can make over a campfire. So unfortunately, in a basement, obviously you don't have a campfire. If you have a campfire ring or the ability to make a campfire safely in your backyard, this can be a really, really fun activity for you to just to try to think of ways that you can bring the outdoors in. So if you're like me and you don't have a campfire, there are a couple ways that we can kind of get around that and still enjoy our I would say, most of those treats that we all think of when we think about camping. One thing I want to show you, I have my little snack station over here. I'm going to show it to you folks. And what I've done here is set out a bunch of different little Tupperwares full of various foods. Again, if you have kids, this is a really fun way to engage them. They can make their own snacks, and you as the adult get to choose what they are choosing. So in a sense, it's a double win. So over here, I have some kind of some already pre-made trail mix type things, but this has a lot of savory, crunchy things like pretzels, those rye chips that I just can't get enough of. So that's one option. Other things, we have some dried fruit. Here we have some banana chips. These are, you know, the gold mine of all those fun goldfish crackers. If you have kids, you probably have this in your pantry already. And even if you don't, they're still a good snack to have around. I have kind of some nut mixture here with like pecans and walnuts. We have some more dried fruit, cranberries or so, and some chocolate chips. You could also put things like M&Ms. Who doesn't love a little bit of candy in their trail mix? So I put the really sweet things in these smaller containers. Again, if you're going to be camping with kids or you are a kid, we definitely want to limit a little bit of sugar. And then you can just go ahead and set out some empty containers like so. And then that way everyone can kind of pick and choose what they want to eat. So also, snacks aren't going to really hold anyone over for much longer than a couple hours. So one thing that I was thinking that we can make here at home, I'm not going to completely make it for you all, but I'm going to show you the ingredients and just kind of give you some ideas. But when I was little and we went out camping with Scouts, we would make these tinfoil meals that we can call trail meals. And basically it's a super easy thing that everyone can do. And if you have a campfire, it is really delicious. If you don't have a campfire, we can definitely modify that and cook these things in our oven. So I'm gonna get our groceries out here a little bit. So if you've ever made these meals, you know that they're really versatile, but some of my favorite things to do, it all starts with the foil. So you definitely need to have some foil wrap if you're going to be tossing this in a fire, or you can put it in the foil as well, or a baking dish, but just to kind of keep it fun and stick to our camping theme here, I definitely encourage you all to put everything in foil. But we're gonna make just kind of hodgepodge of things. So some things I really like to put in my trail dinners, I really like to have these little mini potatoes. I cut them in half. They cook pretty well, pretty easily. So you're just gonna take a really big piece of tin foil and you're going to put down a little bit of either butter or any kind of cooking oil. I personally like coconut oil or olive oil, so those are good things to do. And you just kind of pile it in. So you can do those potatoes, you can do some corn. It kind of brightens things up and makes it sweet. You can do some diced tomatoes, or if you have fresh tomatoes, that's even tastier. I just kind of went through my pantry to see what I had that we could throw in here. Some black beans, definitely a really good source of protein and kind of balance out all the other veggies and things. You could chop up an onion. It gives it, cooking onion in a fire gives it a really nice roasty sweet taste. I also had a sweet potato. If you don't like normal potatoes, go with the sweet potato. I love both. And then just for a little bit of extra flavor, you can cut up some fresh garlic. If you have hot sauce, this is definitely a good hot sauce meal, so pour it on in. And then once you get all of your ingredients in, you could also even put in things like raw meat, ground beef, ground pork, ground turkey, whatever kind of extra protein. If you're a meat eater, you can definitely throw this in raw. I know it sounds really weird, but you basically are just making a big packet of foil and you're mixing it all together. You can throw in some salt, some pepper, any kind of spices that you want. Again, if you like spicy, throw in some red pepper flakes. It'll be really tasty. And then I just kind of mix everything up with a spoon, and then you can throw it in, obviously wrap it up in the foil, and then you can throw it in the fire and just make sure that if you have, oh, sorry about that folks, I think we had an alert come up. So we're back. Just go ahead and wrap that up in foil, throw it in a fire, and make sure that you're rotating it so it gets cooked evenly. If you are at home like me using an oven, you can preheat that oven to about 350, 375, and go ahead and put that either baking dish or the tin foil with all your food in the oven. And I don't really have a good time to tell you folks, but I would say roughly a half hour to 45 minutes would be plenty of time for that all to cook. You can just kind of check it and take a fork and see if those potatoes are done, see if any meat that you have in there is cooked all the way through. So that is my suggestion for doing dinner while you're camping at home. And Kim, hi. It's good to see your comment. I hope that you and your boys are having fun. Mikey and Ollie, shout out. And then once that meal is done, I like to put cheese on it. So you don't have to put the cheese in the oven or in the fire with it, but you can put it on that hot meal and it'll just automatically melt after that. So that is my suggestion for doing a meal at home while you're camping and having fun. And then also, once you have eaten, you're kind of full, some fun activities that you can do. There's the classic campfire sing-along songs. If you play guitar or any other instrument, you can kind of do that with the folks that you're sheltering in place with. That can be really fun. Or if you're doing this solo, as I am, you can just kind of pick up maybe a good book to read, just have some nice downtime. Try to make it feel like you're a little further away than you are, taking some new space. And then also some other activities that you can do. You can play shadow puppets. I have a headlamp here. And if you have made this fort here, like I have with any kind of backdrop with a sheet, or if you have a blank wall in your house or anything like that, you can go ahead and find any kind of light. And I was just using this here. Ooh, I have a red light. But also just the normal light. Let's see if I can get this working here. But basically, you all can have fun with yourselves playing with shadow puppets and things like that. All right, so it looks like our red light is working. We can always do our classic T-Rex coming in, or I don't know, whatever kind of shapes that you want to make and play with and have fun. Have the dogs, any kind of thing like that. That's always a fun, entertaining thing that you can do, especially with kiddos. So have fun with that. And then after you have all of these different games and activities that you can do, or just some downtime for yourself, if you're like me, you like to have some sweet things. So definitely do not miss out on some s'mores, or let's see if I can get it. Make sure you have that good camp mug with some nice hot cocoa. Now, if you don't have a fire, that doesn't mean you can't make s'mores. I actually just made these in my oven. So marshmallows can melt super, super fast. They're really convenient and quick to make. So of course you want to get your classic graham crackers, some marshmallows, and those little pieces of chocolate. All I did was put these graham crackers on the bottom of a cookie sheet. I put 2 little pieces of those Hershey chocolates on there and 1 marshmallow on top, and I put it in my oven. I set it to reheat until 350, and by the time, I just kept a close eye on it, by the time that the oven got up to 250, these marshmallows were completely melted and ooey gooey looking, and so I stopped it there. So if you are making marshmallow s'more type things in your oven, just keep a really close eye on it. It only takes about maybe a minute to make, if that. So enjoy your s'mores, enjoy your hot cocoa, and if you can set up your shelter outside, or you have a little bit of a patio or even a sidewalk that you can walk on, you can just kind of enjoy that hot cocoa and look up at the stars, maybe do some stargazing. So folks, that is all I have for you today, but I hope that you maybe can have some fun with this. If there are any other suggestions out there of maybe how you can make your camping trip at home more fun, definitely please put that in the comments. Let's share this information all together as a community. And let's see, we have our next installation for outdoor recreation on Tuesday. I'll be going over Leave No Trace principles. So as we are hopefully phasing out of our stay at home or safer at home guidelines, whenever it is safe to kind of go back to our lives outside, my hope is that you will be prepared with all of these outdoor kind of information and skills, so that when it is time to recreate safely outside, you'll be prepared for it. Thanks so much for joining me today, and happy weekend. Enjoy your s'mores and your hot cocoa, and hopefully I will see you on Tuesday. You folks have a good weekend.